Hey guys, welcome to History Behind the Warrior, and today we're going to be talking about Sakura. Now, prior to her appearance in the Street Fighter series, Sakura was a huge fan of Ryu, and after watching him win the first World Warrior tournament, she became inspired by his virtues and ideals, and was inspired by him to become a fighter, and began training in Ensatsuken by a man who was also taught by Goken, and this man's name was Dan Hibiki. Now, although it's not as refined as Ryu's is, she's still able to pull off many of the traditional Shoto moves, which include the Hadouken, the Shoryuken, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce this one, just look. Now, after somewhat mastering her own style of Ensatsuken, she'd begin fighting off thugs that threatened to hurt people, somewhat becoming a bit of a protector in her city. Now, at some point she would meet and spar with Ryu, and take a photo with him afterwards. Now, I am going to talk about Street Fighter Alpha 3, and a lot of Alpha 3 is actually non-canon, but I believe that Sakura is one of the few characters that actually have a very canon intertwined ending. Now, during the events of Alpha 3, Sakura would come into contact with E Honda. After battling the sumo wrestler, she would learn that Ryu was going off to places such as India and Thailand, and on her journey she would come into contact with her to-be rival Karin Kanzuki. The two would fight, with Karin gaining the upper hand, who would tell her that she is in fact stronger than her, but said that she lacked discipline and needed to train more, in which she would then have a training session with her sensei Dan, which in turn would lead her to becoming best friends with Blanca. She would then begin searching the world for Ryu, and this would lead to her coming into contact with Ken, in which she learned that Ken was also looking for Ryu, and this led to the two going to Thailand. This would lead them to a Shadaloo base, where they found out that M.bison had in fact captured and brainwashed Ryu. Sakura and Ken would fight Bison while Sagat attempted to knock Ryu out of his brainwashing. Eventually they were successful, and Ryu was back to his normal self, in which he would then face and defeat Bison. Now, after they left the Shadaloo base, Sakura asked if she could train under him, but he declined, saying that he was not ready to train with her. The two would then have a very friendly spar before parting ways. Now, not long after this, she would develop a somewhat crush on Ryu, and begin searching for him after the second World Warrior tournament. Knowing that Ryu would appear in the New Sin tournament, she would enter alongside Dan and Blanca. Now, during the tournament, she actively seeks out Ryu, and finds him when he's destroying a Sin facility. Now, during the collapse of the building, Sakura is in fact knocked unconscious, but is saved by her idol. Now, after the tournament, Sakura and Ryu exchange goodbyes, in which she then goes onto a ship back home. Now, she does make a very small cameo in Street Fighter V, where she's seen in the prologue story of Karin and Ibuki. Now, might I also say that the canon in this is actually very flimsy, so take what you will from this, but more things will become clear when Sakura eventually becomes the DLC character for Street Fighter V. Now, in Karin's prologue story, she arrives at the Kanzuki estate, where she's greeted by her friend and rival Karin, in which the two then engage each other in combat, with the outcome being unknown. She's seen very briefly in Ibuki's prologue story, in which she hands out an invitation to Ibuki for the Kanzuki party, but cannot attend it herself as she has plans. And that's really it for Sakura, and you know what? I actually kinda like her. I've never really read up on this character because it's really difficult to keep up with the massive amounts of Shoto characters in the series, but she does have the potential to become a very strong character in the future, as she's still fairly young at this point, so hopefully soon we'll see her in a DLC pack or something as she's turned up here and there. And that kind of wraps up the video. I also want to say that you guys should stick around tomorrow and keep an eye out for a video that I'm releasing, because it's going to involve a lot of channel updates, a lot of videos, and a lot of stuff that I actually plan on doing on this channel, and kind of another one. So yeah guys, stick around for that. Now, as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I will see you guys next time.